Brent, I had the privilege of sitting next to you on the bridge of the Enterprise for several years. So I knew that you were hilarious when we were working together because I had seen you on Night Court. And I know that Rick Berman brought you over because he had worked with you over there. Did you know that Data would have as many comedic moments as Data ended up having? Was that part of the pitch from the beginning, or is that something that just was naturally kind of growing out of who you are as a person over the years?
In reality, we had humor in the show. I'm not so much in the pilot, particularly, but from the very first episode, Naked Now. I remember the limerick.
Yeah. Oh my God.
There was a young lady from Venus whose body was shaped like a... Captain to security, come in! Did I say something wrong?
And then, we got infected with something that made us all silly. And I think it just kind of took off from there. I felt early on that the show was going to have a lot of comic elements to it. And it wasn't necessarily because of me. I think it was built in. First season, we did Big Goodbye. And we got to put on different clothes and be different people. And a silliness came into it automatically. And I think it just grew and grew and grew from there.
Did you have a sense reading scripts back then that like this joke is going to land really hard on a Star Trek audience, or this joke is going to land really hard on kind of like a general audience? Did you think about it in like general comedy terms, like this is going to land, this isn't going to land, or did you just trust the material?
No, I didn't trust the material.
Fair.
I think it wired us to put a spin on things here and there and to try things out.
The guy says, I want a second opinion. The doctor says, okay, you're ugly too. Boom, boom. Was that funny?
No.
I think everybody brought their own comedy into it as well. There weren't really jokes. I mean, in the scripts.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
Well, I mean, that was fun.
Yeah. You know what's really cool about the comedy you guys were doing, though, just from an outside perspective, was every time there was levity or every time you guys were going for a joke and it landed, you still never went to a well of being mean or like punching down. The things that were funny were coming from such an innocent place, but that's why it never broke Star Trek while you guys were doing it. You guys could have funny moments and it didn't diminish the stakes. It didn't diminish what you believed was happening and what was important to these characters. And that kind of comedy is really hard. It's really easy to be mean and blue and swear and do all sorts of gross out sort of stuff. But the stuff that you accomplished, like, it makes you fall in love with the characters even more. And it's so valuable.
Well, you know what? I think that's interesting, Mike, and the behind the scenes, because I was just thinking that may have contributed to the whatever comedy we were able to get into the show was a product maybe of the fact that on the set between shooting, there was so much comedy going on. I mean,
so much.
We laughed and we were raucous and we laughed all day long. And I think somehow that bled into the playing of things.